Radio Football Show with Burger King. Watch live at 5 p.m. weekdays on YouTube. Join the conversation on 0808 17 17 700. Talking Scottish football first.
Yep, we sure are. Good evening. This is Paul Cooney with Charlie Mulgrew and Mark Guidi as Rangers romp past 10-man Killie last night to go back to second top of the table, now just 3 points behind the leaders' Hearts. The fans booed the team off the park at half-time despite being one up. What's that about? What do you think? Were you at the game, Rangers fans? 0808 17 17 700. Celtic demand answers, and they should, about the late Aberdeen call-off last night, 3.5 hours before the match. And the chief exec at Aberdeen said it's rained and snowed for, I think, about a month, which we do understand. So why was it left to under 4 hours before telling the Celtic fans, coming from Glasgow and Fife and overseas as well, why was it left so late last night? And Motherwell fans disappointed as well, but they understood at Dundee and they were given a couple of hours extra. And are Celtic moving closer to an agreement with the former England star, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain? He's a free agent, he's training at Arsenal. Could he be coming to Celtic? And it's Cup weekend. We'll count down to that as well in the company of Charlie, who's had Cup success in his time at Celtic, and Mark, who's been covering the competition since the for a few years as president. Where do we start? Charlie, first of all, Rangers last night. It was a boost for with Hearts the night before. You don't think you saw that coming, the slip up, and a great chance for Rangers and Celtic last night. Not for Celtic, as it turned out. What did you make of Rangers?
Firstly, I really enjoyed the Hearts slip up. I enjoyed. I didn't think St Mirren were going to score. I thought they could have played for 2 days and no scored by the looks of the game, and I put it off, and then all of a sudden they go and score that goal for you. It's a disappointing goal for Hearts to lose. They've been so good at set pieces, and when you're down to 10 men, it's the one area you want to cover and defend them. So it's the twists and turns in the title race. Hearts lose, and then Rangers get a convincing result. I mean, the first half wasn't great. Second half they go and score 4 goals, and they get a result that was needed. I think they were fortunate probably to have 10 men on to finish the game with 11 men. Tavernier probably a sending off. I could see how it's maybe not given, but I think the right decision would have been a sending off, and I think it was the correct decision for the Kilmarnock sending off.
I think, Mark, when you go down to 10 men early on, I heard Neil McCann beforehand saying, look, we're going to go for it here, we're not going to sit in deep, and they did, but to go down to 10 men so early when Dom Thompson was sent off made it really tough for them.
Yeah, I mean, they've arrived at Ibrox last night feeling good about themselves. Paul having won convincingly 3-0 against Aberdeen, Rangers a 0-0 draw in the Sunday, but of course the game plan goes to pot after 4 minutes, as you say, when Thompson gets sent off, straight red card and a penalty kick which James Tavernier puts away. Just to be clear, I think that's a correct decision in both counts by David Dickinson, the referee, and then he gets it wrong, and you can understand Kilmarnock's frustration, Neil McCann's frustration, because Killie are only 1 down at the point, and it should be a red card, because John Jules is getting away, and he's down. And for Kilmarnock, to be clear, Paul, people think, it's Celtic and it's Hearts. No, it's not. This is about Kilmarnock, who are fighting for their lives. Yeah. There's jobs in the line. This has nothing to do with the title race. This is about Kilmarnock last night, who are trying to get out of the relegation zone and have had a decision go against them that Neil McCann feels very, very strongly about, and rightly so.
Did they say there wasn't sufficient contact from James Tavernier, and James Tavernier was in a yellow already? Charlie, what did you think on that one? So you think
the first one? It took me a few looks, Paul, to be honest with you. The first one's a foul in a booking. The second one, I can see there's no loads of contact, but there is enough to put the boy off for going through and goal, and that's why he has to. You can understand why he goes down, because if he doesn't go down, there's no chance of getting it. At least he gives himself a chance, but there's enough. See, at that point, it just takes a wee tug to hold you. Sometimes it's just enough to make the ball run through the goalkeeper, or just enough for you not to get there. It's definitely another booking, and it should have been both teams at 10 men.
Big result though for Rangers last night. I mean, the record books will show, you'll look back, you'll forget when the goals came or whatever. 5-1 Rangers, pretty resounding. It's a message to Hearts and maybe to Celtic as well.
Yeah, some good play. Mikey Moore in particular showed some great bits of play. He's looking like a right good player, and one that can help Rangers in in the title race, and they've got a lift for that result. I know the fans kind of weren't happy at half time, booed them, booed the players off.
It's a bit harsh.
Well, they a long period of the halfway against 10 men, so the fans want, especially after being at Hibs and not creating a lot, they only go in one up, not creating loads, and then they obviously come out the second half and get the job done, albeit 2 of the goals came really late.
Going to hear from Danny Röhl. In fact, let's hear about him now, who's asked about the fans, the title race very much on. What about the boos at half time?
Yeah, we try. I think we try to influence our fans. I learned a lot in the last 3 months about the club, about the demanding. In some moments I can understand, in some moments I can't agree. Let's do it together as a we. And if you do it as a we, it's much, much more fun. And we can enjoy, because if you scored after 4 minutes, I think it's not a bad opener on such a game. And we finished strong. I think then the fans recognize. Sometimes maybe they are a little bit scared by 1-0 that something happens. Yeah, maybe this is the reason why. But all in all, let's go in one direction together until the end. And if we do this, then maybe we have a great finish this season.
Mark, they can sometimes be a tough audience. Barry often says that, the Rangers fans, brilliant when they're on it. But there was that wobble for them at half-time. They thought, is this going back the way to earlier days?
Paul, I could understand if Rangers were 1-0 down. Right. You know, you're 1 goal up, you're going for a title. And, you know, I think back to Derek McInnes a few weeks ago, it had a wee kind of go at the Hearts fans who were booing as well at one point when Hearts won the game. So with Rangers, it's a good message from Danny Röhl. And he'll be a wee bit surprised because he's not managed at Rangers. He's never been going for a title, Sheffield Wednesday. So, but he's right. Now, I get the Rangers supporters' frustrations, but that's frustrations from over a decade of not having a lot of success. But you're right bang in a title race. Some could argue that Rangers are favourite for the title, and I would get that argument. So what you need is, you need to be together. You need to accept that there's 13 league games to go. It's not going to be plain sailing. They're not going to win 2 or 3 over the game. Might drop some points. It might be nervy. You might be hanging on for a point. You might be hanging on for 3 points. They need to be together. So I get why Rangers fans are like that, but they need to have a new mindset going in for the remaining 13 games of the season, as in, it's going to be nervy, it's going to be bumpy, and the players and the manager require your support. They don't want to hear booing. If you want to do it at 90 minutes, if you've lost, if you feel it's been unacceptable, fine. But when you're in the middle of a game, the players and the management will need all the backing they can get.
All right, if you were there, if you're one of the boo boys, give us a call. 08 08 17 17 700. Charlie, you were going to say there?
I was going to say, I think it's part of being at Celtic and Rangers. I think, of course, everybody knows that if everybody's singing for the same hymn sheet and the fans are getting behind the players, it's only going to help and everybody's unified and together. It comes a point in title races where there's nervy, but times the fans all of a sudden think this is our chance to go ahead of Hearts. We're not showing that desire. We're not showing that ruthlessness in the final third. So they get a bit anxious, and you can't really blame them for that. Ideally, they get behind the players, but this is what happens in title races, and this is what makes them so exciting. Charlie
mentioning a hymn sheet. Do you think he was a choir boy? What do you reckon? I'm going to ask you about your challenge. You're due to go down Gorgie Road. If Hearts stay where they are, 3 points clear of Rangers, 6 clear of Celtic. I know Celtic have a game in hand, so don't touch the dial. I think that I'm going to get some dramatic news, a promise out of Charlie. I think we are in the next 90 minutes or so in the programme. Celtic fans were coming to, in fact, Rangers and Celtic playing the 4th of March, which we'd worked out last night between James, our executive producer, and Andy Walker, and it is the 4th of March then for Rangers against Celtic. Scott's been on YouTube, a Rangers fan, saying totally new dimension to the team with Romens and Skov in the team. You can't leave Slov on his own, or if you do, we Romens bombing forward, he loved it. Keep the teams guessing. So he liked the way when they both came on, he liked the way that they worked together last night, Mark.
Yeah, Romans looked really good. You know, you can understand the excitement about Romans. When he signed for Rangers, I asked a scout, not a Rangers scout, but a scout that's aware of Belgian football, and he said he's a machine. Romans described him as a machine. So you can see him up and down. I thought Skov Olsen's finish was lovely, you know, nice left peg. In there, and as Charlie mentioned earlier, obviously Mikey Moore had a terrific game, was really good. And you know, that's what's nice. As much as Russell Martin and Kevin Thelwell got a lot of stick, when you see guys like Mikey Moore, a young kid who they brought to the club, you know, coming good, You see Fernandez, who's had, he wasn't involved really in the first half of the season. Now come and scored a lot of important goals as well. So they were all signings made at the start of the season. So if it does turn out to be a successful campaign, yes, of course, all the credit to Danny Röhl, absolutely. But you know, it will have been a team effort, and those who have lost their jobs may have played a part as well.
Celtic fans, what are you thinking? More from Danny Röhl in a moment. We'll hear from Martin O'Neill, but there's not been much since the game was called off last night. Mark, you first of all, what did you think about this? So was it 4:15? The word came out, 8 o'clock kick-off. The match is off.
Yeah, Paul, I have to say I was totally taken aback. In the SPFL mailing list, David Ogilvie sent an email saying pitch inspection at Dens Park around about 2 o'clock. Yeah. You think, all right, okay. And then about 4 o'clock there was word came out about one Aberdeen, which totally took me aback. I was looking forward to watching the game in Sky.
Yeah, it was just before 4
last night, and then for it to be called off. Look, sometimes we can't help the weather, but I think in this instance, really, Aberdeen, I don't know how the SPFL will see it, but I think Aberdeen could have been given more warning and have been more upfront about the possibility of the game having to be postponed.
Especially when there had been weeks, and Alan Burrows, the chief executive, Aberdeen, was saying, he came out and spoke and said it's been over 30 days, I think. Right, fine, we get it. Why didn't you get this checked much earlier in the day? Charlie, what did you think?
Well, surely the night before they've got an idea of what the pitch is going to be like 24 hours later. So then you look at the weather forecast and you make a decision then, and then the people travelling don't need to travel. Everybody knows the plans. For me, that just sounds very simple.
And of course, it means now fixture pile up. I mean, this is what happens when you're in European football. So part of me is, dry your eyes and get on with it. But Gregory's on, a big Celtic fan, saying, what a run of fixtures. Stuttgart at home, Hibs at home, Stuttgart away, Rangers away, Aberdeen away, all within 13 days. But he says, proper Warrior effort required, the Warriors will win. So, but I mean, that goes with the territory, Charlie, probably, doesn't it?
It is. It's not ideal. And you're thinking, will Aberdeen then have a manager by then and be in a better position as a club? No guarantees that way, but this is what happens in title races and league campaigns. These things happen, so it's just about, you can moan about it all day long, or Celtic just need to sort of get on with it and use the squad they've got as best they can. And I'm sure Martin will be pushing that message.
I think they will have a new manager by then. The former St Etienne and Brann boss, the Norwegian Erik Horneland, could well be their new manager. That wouldn't be a big surprise, would it? Someone from one of the Norse countries. Charlie, did you ever play against Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain?
Yep, I did in a pre-season friendly. Yep.
What did you make of him?
Arsenal. Yeah, he's a powerhouse runner, and winger. Somebody you don't want to be 1v1 with, but somebody be amazing. They could.
Is he in the mix? Do you think? Do you think he's going to come to Celtic?
It's looking like it. The reports are showing that there's definitely in talks. And Maloney, when he was manager the first time, he always liked like a signing like that, somebody at a contract. I remember Stan Varga came in, and there'd always be somebody that would come for right field, left field. So he's I think he could be a good player for Celtic.
He also likes a challenge of resurrecting a career. He's good. Look at Stan Collymore when he took him. He'll take guys in, as Charlie says, a wee bit from left field, maybe that some managers, some supporters have written off, and Martin O'Neill just gets the best out of them. He knows how to go and do that. So I think they're down the road with it. And I think Oxlade-Chamberlain's appeal of come to work with Martin O'Neill. Like we've said about new signings for Celtic or Rangers of Hearts, come and be a champion. Come and help us be a champion over the next 3 months. And that's very appealing.
Yep. Stevie's on the line, 0808 17 17 700. Hi Stevie, good evening.
Evening guys, how we doing?
Yeah,
Hi,
good,
Stevie.
thank you. You're loud and clear on the Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. So what's your choice cut tonight?
Obviously that ridiculous decision last night, not being known by the referee to send that boy off. What's the point in bringing in rules like double jeopardy if we're not really going to stick to them? So I think the rule book should be ripped up, and then we'll just sit and go, do you know what, referees, do what you want. So it's because it clearly states in black and white, as soon as you get a penalty, the only card you can issue is yellow unless it's violent conduct. And there was no way that boy punched the Rangers boy last night. He bumped into him. I know he did bring him down and stuff like that, know what I mean? But the referee pointed to the penalty right away. So that to me, Paul, and I know everybody was sitting going, it's a different interpretation. But the rule is, that's why they brought double jeopardy in. So that they stop all this last man and stuff like that. Know what I mean? So
right. Listen, Stevie,
Stevie, how you doing? Listen, mate, I've got the rule here, right? The rule is that it's a sending off and a penalty if the foul is a pull, push or hold, a deliberate handball, violent or serious foul play, or there's no genuine attempt to play the ball. And I don't think he pulled him and didn't genuinely attempt to get the ball.
Did Gassama not play for it though? Used his experience, Charlie.
He did. He knew the contact was coming, but he turned and pulled the player and held him back. So within the rules, which I'm reading here in black and white, he pulled him, he held him, and there was no genuine attempt to play the ball, so it's a sending off.
But Stevie, I think Charlie agreed with you until you looked at it again and
I
again.
I had to go
show.
right into the rules and look at them.
Honestly, you know what he's like as a former Celtic player. You came in and you were like, I'm not so sure about that. And we spoke about the double jeopardy. And last night in the programme, before it happened, Andy Walker mentioned double jeopardy for the Halkett ordering off and said if it had been in the box, he wouldn't have got a penalty against him and an ordering off. Yeah. Mark, you've also looked at it. We're always fair. Dispassionate. What would you say to Stevie?
Well, I said right at the top of the show, Stevie, I think David Dickinson called it right. It was a penalty and it was a red card. For me, Thompson's, you look at his body shape, he's all over the place. He doesn't know if he's coming or going. He's really, really concerned because he knows the pass is coming through. He's lost his line of sight with Gassama and he's just cut his body right across. So there's no attempt to play the ball. If you look at Halkett the other night, he's played an attempt to play the ball, but he's got in late and mistimed the tackle. So I believe that Dickinson called it right in the 4th minute with both decisions, but he got it wrong later on in the game with Tavernier on Jules.
Agree with both of them.
Do you agree?
Yeah, I totally agree with them.
See, on double jeopardy, is it not a bit tough though on the opposition? So I mean, look, it wasn't a rugby tackle, was it? It wasn't that bad. The two of them are going for it. You've got Gassama, who's fast. He used his guile. Right, okay, penalty, absolutely. Why do you put them down to 10 men?
Yeah, I think it'd probably be a better rule if Stevie said it was just violent conduct. That would make it a bit simpler, because then it's clear as day if you're violent conduct, a penalty and you're off. But if it's not, then just have the penalty. Yeah. But the rules are the rules, so.
Stevie, what about the second one, or is that...
I can't, Paul, I never seen the second one, mate, not being up, so I'm a Celtic fan, as you know, but when I watched it and I said, I've been involved, obviously the double jeopardy came in, mate, it was 1 week we were getting it in our games, and then the next week, you weren't, and when I've seen some of the senior referees and I asked for clarification, and I know what Charlie's saying, and I'm not disagreeing with what it says there, but you can go to the other side and it will say, it's left to the referee's discretion, but every referee says as soon as you give a penalty, unless it's violent conduct, the only card I can show Stevie is a yellow because of the new rule, because it was made to do away with last man and stuff like that, to make the game better. So I know what you're saying, Charlie, I'm not disagreeing with it, but I'm just saying that I've been involved in football for over 30 years, and when double jeopardy came in, I thought, you know what, we're actually moving forward, because he's pulled him down. He's pulled him down. If the keeper saves it, brilliant. If the keeper scores, we'll still get 11 men to get the ball back. You know what I mean? But
Stevie, what about the Celtic ordering off really late in the day? I've kind of got a bee in my bonnet about this one. I can't understand why Aberdeen left it to, 4:15 in the afternoon to give the decision. We had John on last night. Some East Kilbride Celtic fans had gone they didn't get all the way there. Luckily, they turned back. But, one end of the ground, the Merklin Street ground, people knew it wasn't looking good. Alan Burrows said that it was raining for, 30 days or something. Okay. Why didn't they call it off earlier?
I know, mate, but the same sense, Paul, how many times is... Obviously, loads of teams, probably Charlie's been involved in games, and you go there, you're all psyched up for the game, and the game's half. Look at the Dundee Rangers game, and was that half a couple of times or something?
Yeah, yep.
So it's, listen, and I've got a bee in my bonnet about this. We spend all this money on stadiums, and we don't put roofs on them. Common sense, we get more rain than anybody. So we do. And it's a sad day when Wimbledon shows up that they've got a roof on a tennis court, but yet we've got a national stadium with no roof. And against Celtic and Rangers, obviously, I'm not just putting it out there for everybody,
Sure.
but
Yeah.
Celtic and Rangers, you're sitting saying, you're spending all this money, why do you not put a roof on your grunt? So you do. You know what I mean?
You'd be
So,
disappointed the game went off last night. So is it advantage to Rangers, Hearts, given that Celtic missed out last night?
well, I was hoping I could make a certain point about
Go
that,
on,
Paul.
go on.
Obviously, I mean,
Yep.
obviously,
Go
the
on.
double jeopardy and that, I mean, because I thought if Oxlade-Chamberlain comes in at Celtic,
Yep.
and Celtic knew games off, so we've got an extra game to play. Rangers have took advantage and got the 3 points if they're Hearts starting points. So, again, I'm always the type, I'd rather have the points in the bag than games in hand, guys. I mean, that's just my old coach experience. He'd gone, give me the points and try and catch me.
What do you think?
Simple as.
Yep, Charlie, put that to you.
I've always
Yeah.
much rather have the points. Of course you would. That's definitely the nature of the game. You'd rather have the points, but they don't have them, so they may as well just look forward to the game.
Mark, it's some season though, isn't it? The twists, the turns.
Yeah, I think there's two ways to look at last night for Celtic. I actually think that I would have fancied Celtic comfortably given Aberdeen's performance on Saturday at Rugby Park. Celtic got a bit about them again under Martin O'Neill. However, still a tricky game, the weather, the surface, and going to Pittodrie, etc., etc. So the other way you can look at it is that it gives the new signings chances to bed in. So you'll get 3 or 4 training sessions. They've got the cup game on Saturday. Cup's obviously important, but it's not the priority. And then you've got a midweek game at home to Livy. So it depends what way you look at it. Look, it's not ideal for Celtic. Fixture pilot, I get that. 2 extra games minimum because they're involved in Europe. But like I always say, and I've got a league winner sitting beside me, Stevie, if the fixture schedule daunts you in any way or scares you, you shouldn't be playing for Celtic. Every player should be up for it. Give me games. Rest and recovery. Give me games. That's what you want.
Stevie, great call. Thank you so much. Of course, Aberdeen were without Jack Milne and also their captain, Graham Shinney, last night. They'll be available, you'd imagine, for the next one. Break, and then we're back.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King.
Yep, 27 sleeps to go before the Glasgow Old Firm derby. I don't care what you want to call it. Rangers against Celtic. And by then, will we know who's in pole position? Will Rangers be top? Will Celtic be top? Or will it still be Hearts there? At the top of the show, Charlie Mulgrew was saying, you were pleased when Hearts lost. To be fair, it's because he's got a bet on about, a pint at the Gorgie.
I've said that Hearts would be 8 points behind in March. That's not going to happen. That's mathematically impossible now. So
have you got to do that then? Have you got to
No,
go?
no. That wasn't the bet. The bet was if Hearts wins the league, I'll
Right.
go for a beer in a pub in Gorgie, which I'm not too keen in doing. So
Have you got personal security? Yeah.
I might need it. Aye,
6'4", Mark. He wouldn't need that, would he? He'd be fine.
Aye. So I might add a wee bit. I might add something onto the bet.
And what would that be?
I don't know.
Can I push you
don't-
for it?
Nah,
Right,
nah,
we
nah.
spoke about
I
something
don't-
just
I don't- I
before the
don't want it.
programme.
Aye.
No, but I want you to be comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll keep it till the next break and then we'll see. He's thinking of doing something else for charity. So we'll find out. Some of the girls, some of the guys in the office are
Maybe
hoping that he does
go
it.
past them in the league and then we can.
And do you think, so listen, so Tuesday night, so you and Mark were here on Monday night on the programme. So Tuesday night, Peter Grant said, look, I'll tell you at the end of the window who I think is going to win the league. He didn't go for Hearts. He didn't go for Celtic. He went Rangers.
Did he?
So, good on Peter and being honest and saying what he thinks. You don't often, get that when it's so close. Mark, over the years, so many times we've had, where I think David Provan would always call it as he saw some other great pundits who were either at the football club, Rangers or Celtic, would tend to go one way. Are you surprised that Peter has gone? I mean, the important thing, I guess, is you said on Monday night, Hearts are favourites. Are they still your favourites?
No.
Okay.
No, they're not. No.
You're going for, who do you reckon?
Right now, I would go with Rangers as favourites.
You're going Danny Rose Rangers.
Yeah.
I'm Celtic. I'm sticking with Celtic. Sticking to my guns here. I think there's some decent, good signings coming in the door. I think that I think they'll do it. I think they've got the know-how in there. Callum McGregor being a massive part of that. I think they'll just do enough to get over the line when the big games come in the split. and they need to go to Motherwell, Rangers, Hearts, or Hearts need to come to Celtic Park, innit?
Yep.
I think these games, I think that's a game Celtic will step up and they'll get it done.
So Martin O'Neill, who seems to do everything at the club, has called for unity between the Celtic fans and the club's hierarchy amid the latest boycott plans. I read it in The Sun today. He also said in the Herald that he wasn't totally convinced by Celtic's transfer business under Paul Tisdale, now departed as head of football operations. I haven't seen the whole. It was in the Sky Sports. I think he'd said it. Maybe that was in an interview there. And what he did talk about yesterday, in fact, ahead of the game at Aberdeen, which didn't happen, was about the loan deals, those coming in, and how he thinks they're going to do.
Well, I just get back to the point I've said to you here for the last 3 or 4 weeks. Getting players, we had, for instance, we had a deal set up with Frosinone for the lad coming in, and he chose to stay. That's entirely his decision to make. He wanted to see if Frosinone can get into the Premier League. Really fine player, and that's it. So everything is sorted. So those things happen. They happen in the game. It happens from the 1st of January. It happens on the 24th, and it happens later on. So it's that does happen. It's happened every single time. So you can have things set up. You can be thwarted, as I said to you. Some players that we were in for have gone for. I wouldn't call bigger clubs, but probably pretty big money and stuff like this here. So who doesn't?
Charlie?
Yeah, it happens both ways though, because I know that Celtic were trying to get Calvin Miller, and he thought he was
From Falkirk,
in the door.
Yeah.
His agent got a call 2 days before saying that it's ready to be done, and we want him, and he was delighted to go back to Celtic, and then 8:30 the night of the window it was done. Obviously Celtic had plates spinning the way players do, and I don't know where he was in that. Maybe he was second choice, and he thought he was getting a dream move back to Celtic, and it didn't happen. It didn't get told at 8:30 the deal's off. Wow. So it happens both ways. Yeah, that's why these things drag out.
It's so hard because he's doing brilliantly, as you know, Mark, for Falkirk. Falkirk's a brilliant club, but if Celtic come calling, that must sort of turn your head. I'm not saying it will with him, but you can understand at a human level how that young man must feel.
Yeah, and then I've watched him last night playing for Falkirk, and he's got a great assist in one of the goals, lovely delivery. He's got a lovely left peg. I think Hearts are interested in him. I thought there was a deal done there to go to Hearts at the end of the season maybe. But if I don't know if he's a Celtic supporter or not. I know he was certainly there as a kid. So yeah, if you get so close to something, particularly that could be life-changing money, maybe a 2 or 3 year deal, whatever it may be. But maybe it could happen in the summer. Maybe that's something that could come back again, because he's had a terrific season at Falkirk. He's having a terrific season, and he'll have good options. And I'm sure John McGlynn will be absolutely thrilled that it didn't happen.
Staying, they won last night as well, and then Hibs squeezed past against your old team, Charlie. Back to Martin O'Neill. He was speaking about Oxlade-Chamberlain. He was also speaking about the board and the way they handled the Arne Engels situation. They could have ended up with £25 million. I mean, the irony of the fans and people saying, they're not spending money, and they're not. It was loan deals, but they knocked back 20 million plus add-ons for Arne Engels, who's been criticised by many of the Celtic fans. Yeah,
and I don't understand. Well, I do understand why Martin O'Neill, because there was no plan to get anybody else in at that late hour, and obviously he's starting in the team. But I think a club like Celtic probably should have 2 or 3 lined up as a replacement and ready to go. If it's getting done properly behind the scenes, and then you can go there. There you go, Engels. We've now got somebody in for 5 and 6 or 7 million to do the same again. But obviously that wasn't sitting there ready to go. And I think a couple of Scottish players wouldn't have done any harm in that changing room. Get them in there, and I know how much that benefits the morale and the sort of team spirit in the place.
This is what Martin O'Neill said about the Engels saga during the day on Monday.
Did the board speak to you about that? Was it a case of you
who's being asked about it?
Reiterating the importance of keeping in for the title?
No, absolutely not. Not at all. No, they turned it down before telling me. I was asked the question here on Sunday. I genuinely didn't know a thing about it, but I think that the offer had come in, I think, from Nottingham Forest came in from Nottingham Forest just after the media had been told, I think, but beside the point. But I think that it arrived. Michael was telling me. I think it came in about 5 to 5. He certainly hadn't time to tell me. What time was our conference? End of the conference, or end of?
It would have been just after that. About
Yeah.
5.
Honestly, I genuinely didn't know anything about it. Just in case you thought I was telling a load of fibs, Didn't. But the other offers have come in since. Yeah. If it had got to 100 million, yes, I think it definitely would have done that. Even if it.
Mark, what's your take on it?
I think Sky Sports on deadline day, Paul, had a reporter at the City Ground, based at the City Ground, and they were also getting a card marked in terms of what Nottingham Forest were trying to do. They were definitely after a midfielder, Engles and the boy Hayden at the Middlesbrough. They seem to be to and fro between the two, and Celtic have rejected it. Martin O'Neill's saying there he had no part to play in the decision, but he's been left with a guy that he picks, pretty much for every game. It's an experienced player. Of course, he's had his critics. People have questioned the £11 million transfer fee that Celtic paid for him. That's not Engels' fault. I think he's a really nice, educated footballer, and like I said on Monday night, Celtic will get the money back. He'll get the move in the summer. He'll have 2 years to go in the summer, so you either extend his deal and fatten him up, or you let him go and you sell him. So Celtic will get at least that.
Do you think they'll get that though? Again, that
yeah,
offer?
They'll get that in the summer, Charlie. Yeah, but not necessarily from Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
But if he's part of the Belgium squad that goes to the World Cup, he's got a good reputation. He's young, and as you know, particularly down south, they pay 20 million for squad players. Yeah. They pay 20 million for guys that will sit on the bench. And like you say, the up here for Celtic, what they need to do very quickly is put that model in place that you're talking about, so that when somebody's ready to go, or you get an offer for someone, boom, you're ready to go in and strike into action and get a replacement within 24 hours. So that's something Celtic need to work on. But you can understand with Martin O'Neill, it's unlikely going to be his problem to fix. He's all about the here and now. He's all about the next 15 or 16 games and what they need to do to try and become champions. Beyond that, it's for the football club to put people in position to get a proper trading model up and running again.
And he makes him a better player, doesn't he, Arne Engels? He wasn't having a great season, but Martin O'Neill, just to your question, he seems to enjoy playing under Martin O'Neill, and that probably will only help his transfer value in the summer.
He does, and Martin O'Neill's probably got the best out of him, because he's the type of manager that does do that, man managing. I don't think he's offered an awful lot, to be honest with you. I don't think he's. I'm amazed there's a 25 million bid put in. Obviously, it's January, prices are inflated a bit, and Forest must be. They're obviously trying to avoid relegation, but yeah, I don't know if that offer comes again. I'm not sure. Right. And I'm also surprised Martin O'Neill never knew about it, because I just assumed it would be Martin O'Neill saying, no, I want as many players in this building to go and try and win this league. And I thought maybe the finance people would be thinking finances and thinking, let's take our money and let's run. Or let's even take our money and phone Martin O'Neill and say, you've got 10 million to spend. Yeah. Or you've got 5 million to spend.
Probably too late,
and you've got an hour to spend.
Exactly.
Aye, I know. That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. If things are done properly, you've got 2 or 3 options. You've got two. You know that bid's potentially coming, or maybe you don't, but you've still got 2 or 3 sitting there. Yeah. We talk about spinning plates. If you get 2 or 3 sitting there and you're ready just to pull the plug on it, but or pull the trigger on it, but Celtic obviously don't. The kind of, it was sort of short-term thinking you could see in the window with the loans coming in, and just get everybody in, get who we can in the door on loan to win this league.
I mean, I think one thing, Paul, for as much as we are being critical of the lack of forward planning at the club, which has been going on for a couple of windows now, it's not in Martin O'Neill's watch. You look at the here and now. So what's the here and now about? The here and now is about trying to become the champions on May the 16th. They've added 5 players. Yeah. So the first 2 we can call, as in a Röhl at right back, really looks the part, and Chivinchara, centre forward, looks the part. Other 3 we don't know about yet, particularly young boy Brentford. You wouldn't imagine he's going to be coming in as first choice, but you never know. So they've signed 5 bodies. They were wanting players to come in, supplement the squad. They've lost a couple, Johnny Kenny, but they've not lost first team starters. And like Engels, so you look at Engels, Martin O'Neill challenged Engels to give more to the team. He said, you're a lovely footballer, you've got lovely skill, you've got a lovely first touch, but you need to be braver. You need to go and push yourself onto the game more, take part in it more, be braver, get in the end of things. What did he do? Goes to Easter Road and gets that goal. We said and gets a wallop in the head for his trouble. But that's what Charlie's talking about. That's where you go. You challenge players. Say, listen, you're good, but you could be so much better. You could go and kick on to one of the top 2 or 3 leagues in Europe, but you need to start imposing yourself more here. So they've got that. They've kept their body in the door, which may well help them. So they've supplemented it, to use Martin O'Neill's word. We need to supplement the squad, and they've brought in 5 players. So it could have been more organised. It could have been and should have been done quicker. But the way the football club has been for the past few months meant that was very, very unlikely to happen. But they need to learn lessons, Paul. They really do. You always hear people in football, we'll learn from it. Well, have you learned from it? Because this has been going on this is the 3rd window now.
Because you hear
have
that
you learned from
you
it?
hear it in politics. And when I hear that, I think, well, you say this time after time and you don't learn. That is a great point, because Celtic's summer window was awful. Ian Acho came in the following day. And that was the problem then when Martin came in after that, after Brendan Rodgers left.
I think with Sean Maloney in the building, what I know of Sean Maloney is, regardless of what happens in the summer, if he's still at the club, he'll be somebody that will recognise and understand what needs to be done. I think he'll push to try and get the right things in place.
I think Sean Maloney will end up being the technical director or director of football, whatever, sporting director, whatever title is. But I think, for the past 3 or 4 weeks, Sean's been working really, really hard to try and pull everything together, to put things to Martin O'Neill, to deal with agents, to deal with clubs, to deal with the board, etc., etc. So I think he's had that under his belt for a year or 2 now, and he's really stepped up on it. So I think he's got the trust of people inside Celtic Park. He's got the respect of people inside Celtic Park. I think he's pretty much ruled himself out of being the next manager or whatever, but I could see him playing an important role for Celtic moving forward in that kind of upstairs role.
I agree. I've known Sean and having spoken to him about football and stuff in the past. I know he likes things to be done right. He's worked at Belgium. He knows he can recognise when something's done properly.
With Martinez, who's been mentioned for next season for Celtic.
He understands the game, so he'll be somebody that will want to put whatever we are saying here. He'll want a proper structure in place, and having Celtic run for the top to the bottom as an elite club, what they should be. Fascinating
season. There's so much to come up. Quick break, and then we're back. We're going to hear what the manager, Danny Röhl, thinks about Mikey Moore.
Show with Burger King.
Yep, last night Dundee Motherwell was postponed. The Motherwell fans were going up there with some confidence, but it wasn't to be. It was called off, 2:30 in the afternoon. Hibs 3-2 against Dundee United. What a game. United 2-1 up with 2 minutes to go. Ended up 3-2 for Hibs. Falkirk winning 2-1 at Livingston, getting the points, and Marvin looking for his first points, but it's going to be tough for them to stay up in the division. And Rangers 5, Kilmarnock 0. Skov Olsen getting his first goal for the club. And Aberdeen against Celtic, as we now know, match postponed at 4:15 in the afternoon. And Tuesday night, St Mirren 1, Hearts 0. Miguel Freckleton with that header with 88 minutes gone. Hearts fans not happy, but look, it's only 3 defeats so far this season for Rangers. Big beneficiaries then. And with their result, if you just looked at the result, 5-1, you'd think, wow, Rangers are back. But it wasn't their best performance, but it is 5-1. I'll tell you who was really good, Mikey Moore. Here's his manager.
Yeah, Mikey is always lively on the pitch. And he wants to score, he wants to be active. But this is sometimes the difference, Some players, they can get more confidence on the pitch, and Mikey is someone, we know what we have from it. It was the reason why I took him then not out. I want to give him this minutes, he deserved it. But by Mike is as well about consistency. It's in some games you can't see him, and then he has outstanding games, and I think this is important for him as well. He knows this. I had a meeting with him in the last week about this. He demands a high performance on himself, but again, let's speak not about individual performance, speak about the team, and the team doing really well at the moment.
Charlie, what do you make of Mikey Moore? What do you like about him? And there's a lot to like about the young player up on loan.
He looks a threat. He looks lively. He looks like he's got a desire to go and make something happen, which I don't see anywhere else in the front line at the moment for Rangers. I like him. I think I saw him in the Rangers Celtic semi-final earlier in the year, earlier in the season, and that's the first point. Yep. It was Danny Röhl's first game, maybe a second game. But I remember looking at that point and I thought he's like a wee boy kind of in a man's world up here. I don't think he's the right type for Rangers. And that day I saw him, I thought, yeah, he's got something. I might have been wrong there. And then since then, any time I've saw him, he's one Rangers player that looks like he can go and create. But obviously Danny Röhl sees him day in, day out and knows he kind of floats in and out of games, so that you can then begin to understand why he's not starting every game. But he's somebody that can definitely play a big part for Rangers.
Mark, it looks to be a good loan move. You know, sometimes people say, loans, what's that all about? And at the beginning, we didn't see much of him. He didn't show much, but he's now improving.
Yeah, I mean, he arrived with his reputation, teenage super kid, and I think he just turned 18 during pre-season. So he is young, he's very, very young. And it wouldn't have been the ideal circumstances where Rangers were the first 8 or 9 weeks of the season. It's no place for a young man trying to find his way, all sorts of pressure, team not getting results, etc, etc. But he's now come into his own. You know, he's had the 6 months to settle. He's now having an impact on games. He's taking games with the scruff of the neck in the final third. Really clever movement for one so young. And Danny Röhl will be absolutely delighted that as we're now getting towards the business, I think once we hit 29-30 games, you're in the business stage of the season, albeit it's Hearts Rangers a week on Sunday, which is a massive game. Rangers go to Fir Park. So you look at Hearts' next 2 games, Rangers' next 2 games, massive. And for Mikey Moore and everybody else to come into their own at that time is exactly what Danny Röhl needs.
Danny Röhl was asked, what about the new players, the impact they're having? It's early days, but what does he feel?
100%. I think this is what we need on both sides. Sometimes it's the winger inside who makes the run, sometimes it's the fullback who makes the runs inside. I speak a lot about in-out. It's not about who is it, it's about how we move, how we are flexible in this position we have to occupy. I think good performance. I saw us in the training. He plays with a lot of experience. Even he's 22. Sometimes I forget this. But on the other side, we should not forget Jaden made 60 minutes at first hard working. Yeah, this is also the part. This is what I mean in some games, and this is what we have to learn as a group, because all my players want to start, and sometimes it's tough for them to wait until the moment. But there's a reason why. I think I had before the game a meeting with Scoff. We spoke about this, how he feel, and then my feeling was, give our other player 60 minutes before, and then Scoff, you come on, a great confidence. He comes to some good finishing, then he scored, and this is what we need, and we come back to the window. I think at the moment we reduce the group, but we strengthen the quality on some positions, and now we have exactly the challenge what we want. Use the chance if you get them.
I think, just listening to that interview, Paul, you talk about learning from your mistakes. I think probably Danny Röhl's learned a lot from Sunday. A lot of people questioned his starting 11. Why was Diamondi never started? A game like that going to Easter Road, Diamondi probably should have been starting. Did he make the right team selection for Thursday night against Porto? Because he's got the Champions League in mind, but that becomes redundant if you don't win the league. So the league's your priority. So maybe he's learned from Thursday to Sunday in terms of both team selections, and then he's looking at it last night. He's taken in Skov and said, listen, you're not going to start. I know you're disappointed, but here's why, and here's what you're going to do for me when you come on. So you're letting them down, but you're building them back up, getting them ready. So it's good man management, and he's probably thought, you know what, between Thursday and Sunday, I've maybe called it wrong. I've maybe got it the wrong way around. I won't do that again. Obviously, the title is the most important thing.
36-year-old manager, he's learning as well, but it shows you he's open to admit, I got that wrong, and he's handling Skov well.
Yeah, he is, and he's learning about the new. I mean, you can know you want about the player. It's when you bring him into Rangers. What can he bring? What can he bring to a Rangers team? And Olsen, for me, deserved not to start last night. It was the right decision for Mikey Moore to come in. Having seen the Hibs game, Olsen never offered anything. And then sometimes as a player, you're happy to be taken away because it's your third game to go and play, and you're maybe you're thinking your confidence is maybe low, and to watch and then come on with 30 minutes when the game's a bit more comfortable, a bit less pressure, and you can go and sort of affect it, and he gets his sell a goal. So it's brilliant management.
It sure is. He had a message for the fans. We heard it earlier on. I think he was surprised, maybe a bit disappointed, and he's been brilliant with the Rangers fans. He does pay tribute to them. He talked about the players then that he came on, they brought on in the second half.
I'm honest to you, I couldn't understand this. I must say this. I love our fans really, but today I was really surprised. I think in the last couple of weeks we spoke about and we want to be together, and we need the crowd. We lead very early in this first half, and then I was really surprised. But this is my job then to give my players the right feeling for this game, the right instruction. What we saw today is that we have a strong bench now. I think this is crucial, and this is in football. Yeah, some players start, and everyone knows the first 60 minutes. Sometimes it's harder than the last 30 minutes. Great is that some players scored. We want to create confidence, give them minutes. Yeah, and that's the reason why I'm very, very proud of my group at the moment. It's not about me. It's not about my person. It's all about my group, because they deserved a lot of credit for what I did. Because in some moments we forget very soon and very quick in which position we were 10 weeks ago. And it was not me. It was my group who comes from a position from behind, from 14 points now to 3 points. Maybe this deserves sometimes a little bit positive energy.
Charlie, it's hurt him, hasn't it?
It has, aye, but I mean, you're saying he's learning what it is to be the Rangers manager. They don't score away at Hibs, the fans are still disappointed. You then play Kilmarnock, who've conceded 43 goals before last night's game, and they're only 1-0 up through a penalty at half time. The fans aren't going to settle for that. They're nervy. They think there's a chance to go and win a league this year. Hearts have dropped points the night before. The team you're playing against goes down to 10 men who are second bottom in the league. The fans want a convincing couple of goals to settle the nerves. That's just the nature of it. They desperately want. The fans are, you don't get any more passionate fans than Celtic and Rangers fans in Glasgow, and that's what they're like. That's what happens. You need to step up to that challenge. I remember sometimes at Celtic Park, and you'd be going for a title race. You would receive the ball, you'd play a sideways pass, 15 minutes in, and the groans would start, and then you would play it, and they go, and you were like, it defines you as a player, what you're going to do now. So next time you would get it, I'm stepping forward. I'm going to make something happen. It makes you, and then when you score, the place erupts, and then everything settles. That's just the nature of being the manager. Would it help if the fans? Does it help? No, it doesn't. But that's the way it is.
Yep. Life as being an old firm manager, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, I get the thing that Charlie's saying about the groans. You know, so when something happens, a pass goes back the way or sideways, or somebody makes a mistake, there's a groan, you can feel it. Okay, so that's a natural reaction, and I get that during a term of play in the 90 minutes. Booing at half time is a choice. That's a choice you've made to boo. There's a difference. And therefore, when you're booing, you're not doing anybody anything. I get it, understand it, because like I said, it's been a decade of, you know, almost like a disappointment. A couple of years ago, Rangers getting so close, looking like they're going to win the title under Philippe Clement, and then it collapses the last 5 or 6 games. So I get it. It's years of hurt. Get into that last night. But you've got a really good chance of winning the title. There's 13 games to go. You're going to Fir, I'm taking the cup game out of the equation on Sunday. You're going to Fir Park on Wednesday, and the league leaders are coming to your home a week on Sunday. No room for booing. There's no room for booing. It's support, because it won't go smoothly. 90 minutes at Fir Park and 90 minutes against Hearts. There'll be wee bits. So when you boo, that is a choice that you're making. And right now, it's the wrong choice. And Danny Röhl's right to highlight it, because there's no use in highlighting it at the end of the season if you lose it. We didn't feel comfortable. A lot of the players were anxious because it was booed. No, you've got to address it just now, after you win a game, to get that message out.
Right, no more booing at home if you're listening in. We're coming back after the news.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Watch live at 5 p.m. weekdays on YouTube. Join the conversation on 0808 17 17 700. Talking Scottish football first.
Scottish Cup coming up this weekend, and it kicks off tomorrow night. Airdrie against St Mirren. That's a really good game. And then Saturday, Dundee United against Spartans, Dunfermline against Kelty, Elgin against Partick Thistle, Celtic against Dundee, Aberdeen against Motherwell. Charlie Mulgrew, you've got a contact at just about every one of those clubs, having been there either as a manager for 10 weeks or as a player. And then Sunday, 2 o'clock kick-off, Rangers against Queen's Park. My goodness, what a catalogue of events followed that one this time last year. And then Stenhousemuir against Falkirk. The Cup, Charlie, a magic about it as well. Are you still, right, you enjoy Scottish Cup? Still got a real...
my memory of the Scottish Cup when I was younger was in 1995, Big Pierre scoring that header against Airdrie.
Airdrie, yep.
I was actually watching that in
1-0.
In Canada, aye.
Were you? Of course, you spent time there in Canada.
That's right, I was staying there at the time.
Is that where you grew?
No. Well, is that where I grew?
Aye.
Yeah,
must have been.
My mum did say she used to sit me next to the window with the sun shining, so I don't know if that had an effect on my height.
Tell everyone what happened when you signed for Celtic.
So I walked in, obviously my dad's passed away, but he was 5'7". Used to say he was about 5'8", but he was 5'7".
A very good height.
Aye, my mum.
I wish I was.
My mum's small as well, and they walked in to sign, and Tommy Burns says, "Oh, where does he get his height from? I'm 16, 6'2". And my dad, he was genuine, he says, he said my granny was tall. He was proud of his granny who was 6 foot. She used to show me pictures of that.
Yeah.
And Tommy said, "Who did she play for?"
He always had great one-liners, didn't he?
Oh, he was a genius, Tommy Burns.
Fantastic,
genius.
Yeah. The 95 Cup final, yep. Ross King, who's tuned into it. I remember he came up from wherever it was. He wasn't early in those days, but came along to the game because we were covering it, of course. Mark, you covered so many Cup finals.
For the Sunday Mail,
right.
Tosh McKinley Cross, Pierre Van Hooydonk,
right.
header, Celtic's first trophy in 7 years, and Tommy's his first season in charge with Billy Stark. And that was a really good Airdrie Cup team back then. When you think back, they were strong.
They were, weren't they?
In the Cup. So my God, so that's what 31.
Wow. Hard to believe, isn't it?
Years ago. So look, some good Cup games. Paul Dundee United, Jim Goodwin needs a win.
He does, doesn't he? Yeah.
I looked at him last night in his interview in Sports Scene, and he looked absolutely exasperated. Yeah. He really did. And you think, just defend your box.
I know, 89th minute.
To get 2-1 up, and they've worked in set pieces. Clearly, just hang on, defend your box. I mean, the foul that they give away for the equaliser, you don't need to do it. You don't need to dive in. Just stand up and hold your ground. So Jim really had the look of a man who's on a bad run. Listen, he can turn that around. There's no doubt about that. He's a solid manager, Jim. He's a good manager, but he needs to win that Cup game on Saturday rather, and hopefully that kick-starts them again.
And of course they won the Cup in 94, I think it was a shock against Rangers. And on Monday night, Charlie, you'll be here with somebody who lifted the trophy 5 times, Barry Ferguson.
Oh, 5 times did they win? 5 times Scottish
Cup winner.
That's some going, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Yep, some going. Fast forward in all the years after watching that, obviously Pierre going, and I managed to get a goal in the Cup final as well, so it was something that I dreamt of growing up, and it's always the last game of the season. It's usually Scots, and it's usually a good day. It's something you look forward to, so good memories.
What was your game, Cup final day? What's that one?
We played Motherwell. It wasn't sunny that day. It was raining. It was
you won the Cup,
a horrible day, and we won 3-0. I scored the third goal, a free kick. So
Stuart McCall's Motherwell.
Stuart McCall, right. We went 1-0 up. Key scored. I feel like it was quite a tight game. Motherwell actually started all right, and we hit. Key hit one for 25 yards with his little left foot, and it's went posting in, I'm sure, or in right straight in, and that was obviously a great start, and a great into the half, and then we go on and score. Mark Wilson scores in the second. I think it's Mark Wilson or an OG in the second half, and then we score late on to seal it.
I tell you, very few people would get it right when they said St Mirren were going to win the League Cup. Who do you think might win the Scottish Cups? I mean, I'd like to say take out Celtic, take out Rangers. You can say them if you want. We'll come back to that any other time. But is there somebody there you could see?
Motherwell, I think, will have a say in it somewhere.
Wow, yeah.
I can see them.
Pittodrie, don't they?
Yeah, I can see them having a run in. I'd like to see them having a run in. I'd like to see them get to the final. I'd love to watch them in a final. See against Celtic. That would be a good final.
Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Hearts are already out the competition.
Yep.
Falkirk, couldn't rule Falkirk out. Tough derby there against Steady right enough at the weekend. The obvious ones are Celtic and Rangers, Paul, as you say. But yeah, Motherwell, if they can get past Aberdeen at Pittodrie, which I would fancy them to do. You're then getting into the quarter-finals. So yeah, Motherwell, attractive team. You look at their record, but honestly, I know we mentioned it a lot, but it's incredible to have 43 points, to be within 5 points of Celtic, 8 of Rangers with a game in hand, a new manager, new style of playing, etc., etc.
Look at that, they're the best defensive in the Premiership.
Wow, it's
only 17 goals against.
That's right. Rangers 18, Hearts 20, Celtic 23, Hibs 30, Falkirk 32. It is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, you hope that they can hold on to him next season. A long way before that, but it'll be hard to hold on to him.
I don't think he'll last beyond the season.
Yeah, I think he'll be away, and there'll be 2 or 3 players away, which is the price you pay the club. I think Aberdeen had a strong fancy for Askew, a strong fancy for him to become their next manager. Obviously, they're having to move on and go and find somebody else, but he's put himself in great demand. He will have some really good offers in the summer from the UK and abroad, and I hope that Motherwell will get well compensated for it.
Stephen's on, a Celtic fan, saying, who do you think it's going to be next season? And what do you think Celtic should do? If they win the title, do they offer it first of all to Martin O'Neill? Now, I know Jim and Simon asked him the other day on Talk Sport, and he said probably not. Would he want it? He said probably not.
I think they've got to go to Martin straight away. If Celtic win the league right away, give Martin O'Neill a contract to stay and be there for a couple of years if he wants it. And if not, and he doesn't want to be there, or hopefully if he doesn't want to be the manager, he wants to be there in some capacity, because I think him and Sean Maloney and potentially others can still add to the club. Foldingham and McManus.
Bringing intensity.
Bring intensity, aye. And then go, if Martin O'Neill doesn't go for Askew, I would go for the Motherwell manager.
Would you?
Yeah. Well, he's right under Celtic noses. He's right in front of them. He obviously he'll have a year experience in the league. He'll understand the league, and he's right there. I don't see why not give him a couple of windows. If he can sign the players at Motherwell and have that playing that style of playing that short space of time, what could he do to Celtic with and the players that he can bring in there?
Mark, what do you think? So first of all, about Martin. So if Celtic win the league, you heard what Simon and Jim asked him.
Yeah. Well, if Celtic do win the league, if Martin O'Neill leads up with the title, I think it would be his most satisfying, and it would either be that one or the very first one he won at Celtic with a treble when he overcame Rangers, won the title with 20 points the previous season, had to build a team, etc., etc. Of course, if he's feeling you would be in such a high if you do win the title on May the 16th, your emotions might get the better of you and your heart might rule your head. But certainly you would have to offer him the job, and it would be Martin's decision. I think he's been really honest about it. I think it's been topsy-turvy. It might finish in a high from it might not. But I think he's seen like the kind of toll that it takes on you day to day. And Charlie's been a manager, albeit at a part-time club, but you treat it as a full-time job. It's a horrible profession, being a manager. Sure, at Martin O'Neill's level, you're well compensated for it financially and the rewards. But it's a horrible profession.
Horrible is a strong word.
But it is, Paul. I know it can be rewarding, but see if it's not. I was fascinated by the Davy Moyes stuff at the weekend, how he spoke about getting booked for celebrating a goal in the 97th minute. The pressure on those guys.
Sure.
Charlie will know he's played down south, he's played in title-winning teams, Champions League. See what managers and their staff, Paul, see what they put in just to get a point. Particularly at that level down the road, you're going away from home to Brighton, you're up against it, and you snatch a point and you're getting booked. You're talking about the fun in the game, being entertainment, allowed to enjoy yourself. And Davy Moyes has told me the effort that is put in 7 days a week just to go and try and get it. You don't just turn up and pick a team and on you go. Sure. The preparation that you've got to put in is so meticulous. You need to hope that the players take your instructions on board. That's like Kilmarnock last night. 4 minutes of game plans up in the air. So, to get back to the point, Martin, he'll offer him the job. I generally don't think he'll take it. But what I've said is that he could, in the bigger picture, have a just as an important role to play. Keep him at the football club. Speak to him about what would suit you then, Martin. If you don't want to be the manager, we respect that. But what would you like to do? Because we're not letting you leave the building until you sign something with us that keeps you attached to this football club in whatever shape or form you see fit for yourself.
Now that makes sense. Do you think that could happen when you take egos into it, and then whoever the new manager is, do they want well, the legendary Martin O'Neill to be there in any position of influence. I mean, Celtic fans love Martin O'Neill. They may well love him even more by the end of the season. But do you know what I mean, Charlie? You know what it's like, the politics in any football club.
So difficult. Just echoing what Mark's saying there. There's no other industry with that level of pressure. You live your profession in a glass bowl where everybody gets to judge you and everybody has their say every single day.
Did you get that, Kelty,
every
as well?
Single result? No,
seriously.
Well,
locally, people care.
Nowhere near that level, right?
No, sure,
but you still put the pressure on yourself to deliver because you're trying to better yourself in the career to get somewhere. So you care just as much, but there's nowhere near the amount of pressure, obviously, as Martin O'Neill and Davy Moyes or these guys at the higher up the levels you go.
Danny Röhl.
Listen, they get well compensated. They get paid, but doesn't make it any easier in terms of you're used to the money, but it's still a real tough thing to do. And I respect every single manager that steps up there and does it, because I wasn't sleeping at night and I was only part time. You treat it as full time. You're up during the night. You're thinking about everything. You're overthinking things. It's a real stressful life to live.
It's also as well when you take it, Martin, and I know he makes light of it and he handles it really well, the media. But when when you're still involved in you're doing 6, 7, 8 media conferences a week.
Yeah.
Just that, to create time for that, to get briefed on that. What's happening? What can I say? What can I not say? What do we need to keep in house?
That's right.
Etc. etc. You could speak for 30 minutes as the manager of Celtic, Rangers, manager of Celtic, Martin O'Neill. You could speak for 30 minutes. 29.5 minutes is fine. You say one sentence out of place and it's all over the place. It could really blow. So you take all that into account. But what Celtic need to do as a board, and we've been speaking about a theme tonight, Paul, about learning lessons and learning from your mistakes. For goodness sake, do not complicate the process. If it's not to be Martin O'Neill, learn from the Wilfred Nonce debacle and do not complicate the process. Like we said about Hearts. They simplified the process and appointed Dennis McInnes. Look where they are now. So, don't complicate it. If ask you as a name in the frame, explore it properly. Don't think, he's only the manager of Motherwell. Well, he knows Scottish football. He's been there a year and he's performed above and beyond what anybody would have expected from him. So sometimes the answer can be right under your nose. It could well be that they think Sean Maloney's the man because he's learned from Martin O'Neill the past 12 months on and off. Who knows? But don't complicate the process and learn from your mistakes.
I agree. As I said before, to stand by my point in terms of Martin O'Neill wins the league, offer him the job. Whether he wants to take it or not is up to him. And then Askew is sitting right there. I would go and take him. If not, if Martin O'Neill doesn't take it.
Celtic fans, what do you think? 08, 08, 17, 17, 700. And there's a lot of respect for Martin O'Neill across the board, and there should be. And I think for Danny Röhl too. And yet he's half the age. Not that it should be about age. It is fascinating, Charlie, isn't it?
He's doing a great job for somebody so young.
36 years, even slightly younger than you.
Yeah, to take a team like Rangers and lead like that, he's doing really well. Stephen
Smith's been on media duties today, of course, former Rangers player, really good player, and a Rangers coach, talking about a few things, including what's the belief about the title possibilities for Rangers? This is Stephen this afternoon.
Of course they are. I think that you can feel that there's an energy in the group, that they know that they've put themselves in a really good position. But one thing we need to do is remember how we got there. We got there through a lot of hard work, taking it game by game. I think it's okay for everybody else to get carried away and everybody else to speculate what might happen, but we as a group have always got to remember how we've put ourselves in this position.
And what about the transfer window?
I think it's just been a collective. I think deadline day, I think it was a really good window. Not just, I think the manager mentioned it, not just the players coming in, but the players going out. It feels like a real freshness in the group. And one thing you always want as a manager, as a coaching staff, is competition for places. It puts pressure on people to perform, and I know if they don't perform, there's somebody there waiting who probably deserves an opportunity to come in. So I think as a collective it was a really good transfer window, and not just the incomes but the players that left as well.
We were talking there about the Scottish Cup this time last year. Rangers were looking forward under Yeah, it was Philippe Clement, wasn't it then? That seems ages ago in some... I mean, it doesn't seem any time since we got the call that Barry was off to Rangers. But yeah, under Philippe Clement, they were looking forward to the Queen's Park game in the Cup.
I think it'll be fresh in the players' minds. I think there's still 6 or 7 players in the group that were here and involved in that game, whether that be on the bench or starting the game. So I don't think we'll treat Queen's Park lightly. I think we'll treat them with the respect that they deserve. We'll prepare properly and the players will be ready to go on Sunday.
So Rangers fans, what are you thinking about Cup success? But they're thinking more about the title now. Do you think it's a positive for Rangers in that out of the Europa League, they've got to say, right, we'll just concentrate on the league and the Cup?
Yeah, probably is.
Yeah.
They don't need, they just need to focus on the league and put everything into it, and they've got the squad to do that.
Derek McInnes, we mentioned him a few moments ago, just talking about managers and how well he's done there. He did it at Aberdeen for years, won a trophy. I think if he'd won 1 or 2 more, I mean, he came so close, I think, when he looks back, but did really well. They loved him at Pittodrie by and large. They don't love managers all the time. Nobody does. Then Kelly, look what he did there. You know, he took the drop down to the Championship, got them up on the last day of the season, and then did really well, took them into a European position. Now at Hearts, top of the table, but they lost only the 3rd time this season at the New Love Street, the Smizer the other night. This was him afterwards.
Did what we had to do just to try and get something for the game. Obviously, we're all working it a bit harder than we want to by constantly going down to 10 men. But we're responsible for going down to 10 men. We've caused that, and we have been unbelievable when we were coping mechanisms when we were down to 10 men recently. But you're playing with fire if you keep doing it. No complaints about the red card. Our refusal to play forward gets us in a fancle, gets us in a state. We knew St Mirren would try and come after us. The distances between our centre-backs and their centre-backs were about 30 yards, but we still refused to play the ball in behind them. And we got the game back to front. At times it was okay, and we break the press and you get through it. But what the game did need was us to play in behind them a lot more. And none more so than the penalty. We've had 2 opportunities to play forward, and we don't, and we end up getting ourselves in a state. And it ends up with Hawks having a last gasp challenge. No blame on him for that. So there's a consequence as well. You struggle here, and you're obviously trying to salvage something for the game, but there's a consequence, a knock-on effect with players suspended. So, but after that, there's no complaints for me about the effort for the team and what we had to do to manage it. I think obviously we've done it recently, and the belief and confidence is there within the team, the spirit to try and get something for the game. And the galling thing is, it comes from a set play where the numerical advantage shouldn't really matter. We should be okay with that side of it, and we just get caught under the ball a bit, and it's a good header for their point of view. But from our point of view, a free header 6 yards for goal is you're playing with fire there as well.
Charlie, you love your tactics. I love that insight from the manager, speaking so openly about it.
Yeah. Hearts, this whole season, have known who they are. Against Celtic, we see clear as day, they play direct, and the midfield allows the midfielder to get closer to the front players to pick up second balls, and that's what they've done the whole season. Stuart Finlay has a moment of hesitation, tries to put his studs on the ball and roll it back, and he gets himself in all sorts of bother. I think the big positive for Hearts is if they've known who they are, they know what they, and you can't get away from that. You've got to always, we heard Stevie Smith saying there, Rangers are in the position because they know what got them there. You need to remember who you are and what your team are all about. They never done that, took their eye off the ball for a minute, but then again they've been so good with 10 men. And you watch the game again and you think they're fine here, they're under absolutely no pressure. I don't think St Mirren are very comfortable when they've got loads of possession. They're not a team that break teams down through playing through the lines and intricate plays at the edge of the box with no space behind teams. They like teams to come onto them so they can break on them. So it didn't really suit St Mirren in terms of that either. So you just thought this is going to be a 0-0. To lose for a set piece like Dale McInnes just said there, numerical advantage does not count at that point because you've got 10 men back defending the same as you would have. And to lose a goal like that, they've been so good at defending their box, scoring and head the ball in both boxes. They just don't do it, and that would hurt you so much as a manager and as a group of players because you know you clear that corner and the chances are you've done it and you've got a result, and what a result that would have been. To do it again with 10 men and get away with a 0-0, it would have been an unbelievable result. But it's a wee chink of light for Celtic and Rangers.
And it opens up chink of light
It
for
opens
them.
it right up, yeah. And 3 points, and the psyche of the 3 points at that point is the next night. That night, Celtic and Rangers will go, yes.
Yep.
There's a lift. They go to Pittodrie, they go to Ibrox, and they go, right. The whole psyche of it's different. If Hearts go and win that, there's the opposite
That's right.
effect. You're like, right,
13 games
come on,
just
we
to
need
go.
to get ourselves,
Sure.
we need to get ourselves going here, because all you're doing is closing the gap that was already there. To give the points away is a big moment, and it's now 3 points. Hearts will feel to the Hearts players that'll now feel that'll feel level to them in their minds. That they won't. They'll be thinking, oh, we'd 6 notes.
The cushion's kind of gone now.
It's kind of you're 1 game away for a team jump above you. It's tough. So now we're going to see what they're all about.
Yeah. And Mark, Craig Halkey, he'll miss the Hibs game, won't he?
Yeah,
so he'll
about
be
the
out.
Hibs game on Tuesday night. The Edinburgh Derby,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
pretty
right.
sure.
That's their next game. It is.
So they've got a free weekend, been out the Scottish
on.
Cup. So as you said, Paul, really good insight from Derek. You can tell that he's kept a lid on it, but he's absolutely seething. Yeah, you can hear that in his voice and the lengths he's going to explain. He is seething, but he remembers as well the body of work that's good so far. So sometimes you need that wee lesson. It would have been a great point for Hearts if they'd escaped their point. They'd have looked upon that very, very positively. Now they've got 2 tough games, an Edinburgh Derby, albeit it's at home. Hibs won the last Edinburgh Derby, and then of course they go to Ibrox on the 15th, a week on Sunday. So 2 massive games coming up from Hearts. As I said a couple of weeks ago, I looked at Hearts' 5 games: Celtic, Dundee United, St Mirren, Hibs and Rangers. And I said, if they come out of those 5 games at 5 o'clock on February the 15th with a minimum 5-point lead, I think they'll win it. They'll go on and win it. So at the moment, they've lost 3 to St Mirren, they've dropped 2 to Celtic. So out of 9 points so far, they've only taken 4, a win and a draw. They need to turn that around. So I think they need to take 4 points from their next 2 games, or they're really, really going to be up and against, because I can see Celtic and Rangers, particularly Rangers, really getting stronger. Celtic, see how they cope with the schedule, but I can see Rangers getting strong. So Hearts need to hang in there, and they need to take 4 points from their next 2 games.
Don't go anywhere. We're back after this.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King.
Glasgow's on. Thank goodness there's only one of us, is what you're saying. I know that. Thank you for making the switch. Right, here's some news for you. I told the listener and the viewer last night on YouTube. Charlie getting all dressed up for us this evening there, the white T-shirt. I noticed you changed during the programme. The cameras are on us.
I was roasting.
Is that?
I was boiling. It felt like somebody put the heating up in here.
It's the so.
Probably didn't help. I was at James Arthur last night, so I had a wee bit, couple of.
Oh, were you?
Couple of
How was
beers,
he? Yeah,
he was all right. But you know what I hate about concerts? Even singers turn up and they don't sing.
So what's he going to do?
He gets the chorus and puts the mic to the audience.
No, hate it.
I paid a ticket to listen to you sing. Sing the song.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he pulled it the night before at Nottingham, so he must have a bit of a throat issue.
Yeah.
But
was that like Engels? He was nearly at Nottingham, but he didn't quite make it. I think hey,
one
of the lights has just gone. That's spooky. Charlie has mentioned, and the lights went out. So
the one that's right on me as well.
Was he X Factor?
He was.
Yeah,
X Factor.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have said I was a fan of him at all, really. But my wife had got me a ticket, so I went along. And
was a Middlesbrough, likes Rangers as well, didn't he? Rangers.
That's
fan.
right.
Is he?
Middlesbrough, yeah. I think
Good
so,
football knowledge. Yeah. Next caller, Rod Stewart on. I heard he was on this morning with Alan Brazil. I didn't hear it, but Mark, you did. He was on.
Yeah.
I was going to say
controversial.
Jim, sure. What is he? What's he saying? No, look, you'll heard it, so there's no point in regurgitating. But Rod wasn't happy with the referee last night, was he? At the Rangers game. So
just referees in general, I think.
Was it? Was it referees in general?
Yeah,
right. Okay. Yeah. But see your point about Davy Moyes. I get it. You know, it's what injury time. They get a goal. It's not been a great run. It's fantastic, and because he's out of the box, then some do-gooder goes, "Oh, that's you in the book," and all that. It is rubbish. I heard he was choice language afterwards as well. You know, I get it. He's a Glasgow guy. What's he supposed to say? Cheer up. Entertainment business. This is supposed to be, it's not the civil service. A lot of great people in the civil service, but this is entertainment business.
And you want to show, as a manager, as a player, coaching staff, you hear Danny Röhl, he's like, unity, togetherness. The Everton fans have travelled from Merseyside to Brighton. I don't know, what is that, 200 mile journey, whatever it is.
A long one.
And you've got that last minute goal to get you a point, a really good point, keep you in the top half of the table, and you celebrate. You maybe go 10 but you want to go and celebrate with your fans. He's not running in and jumping in, that's no Davy's style, but he's shown that passion, emotion. There's a week of hard work, and we've managed to stick in, dig in, and come away with a really, really good point on the road, and he gets a yellow card for it.
Yeah.
It's disgrace,
isn't it?
It's taking the fun out of it. The emotion of that, as Mark says, putting that work in and that coming last minute, you can't. It's hard to control yourself at that time. You're passionate. You're there. Everybody wants to see it. Viewers love to see it. It makes the game so good, and then he gets booked. It's just not right. It shouldn't be happening. So James Arthur then. So Middlesbrough boy, Rangers fan as well. There's always a football connection, isn't it? I just wish he would have sang the songs. I was a bit annoyed with the fact he was
exactly.
Aye. But you go to a concert, you want a guy to sing. You ice. I mean, it's
you
not much to ask for.
You think amount of fans that wait to see you play. I wish he'd pass it forward.
I wish he would stop hiding. Good point.
Oxlade-Chamberlain, if he comes to Celtic, will the missus come as well? She's, of course, from Little Mix. She's been in the band, of course.
That's right, because I think him and Andy Robertson shared a box at Liverpool.
Right.
So every year they pay for a box, and their two families shared a box. So, he was up there with I think the Little Mix used to go to the games in that.
Yep.
Aye. Sure. Should get a ticket for that.
Like the music
Never
program.
Mind the game is a little bit.
You love your music.
Perry, I'm trying to think of
That's
name.
right,
Perry, isn't it?
indeed.
Perry.
So 2 million views in January. That's where this piece started. So thank you. 2 million views.
Brilliant.
For us. So thank you. More. Glasgow loves its football. It loves it. It's always loved its Super Scoreboard. Great programme. And they're loving the Go Radio Football Show with Burger King as well. There's such an appetite for football.
I feel like a Burger King.
Isn't it? Do you? Could be arranged, maybe. Gary, what do you think?
Chicken Royale.
I went a few weeks ago for one afterwards. I was picking up Gillian from the airport, and I thought, I need to eat something. We will move back to football in a second, I promise. I thought, where am I going to go? I'm going to Burger King.
Beautiful,
and they were brilliant down at Glasgow. In fact, it was at Hillington on the way to the airport.
It's always dead fresh, I find, Burger King.
It was.
Yeah.
It was great. Can't go any further, otherwise we'll be crossing into advertising too much here. But it was great.
As long as I've got Charlie's home address for the vouchers, we'll be fine.
Oxlade-Chamberlain, is he on his way to Celtic?
What a great signing, Paul, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay,
showbiz.
Look, he's not played competitively this season. We get that, but like we're talking about, he's only 32. He's not 38. He's 32. He'll be hungry to go and deliver something. If you're saying to him, if the deal's done by the weekend, Alex, 14 games, go and help us become champions. Help us retain this title. Help us make it 5 in a row. And you know what? See if you do. There's an offer there, or you'll go and attract attention from elsewhere. But I think that carrot of a league title race, something to play for every single game between now and the middle of May. I don't think Martin O'Neill would have gone into detail. 2 things why a manager would do that. You're either very, very confident that it's going to go over the line, and you're just 1 or 2 wee things, but you're 99% there, or you're going public to give the hierarchy a wee bit in the backside if they need it. So there can be 2 ways of doing it, but I think to go public, you're fairly confident you're going to get it over the line.
This is what Martin O'Neill said the other day.
I do. I genuinely do. Yes, he has trained at Arsenal for some time since his time in Turkey. Spoke to him, and but I mean, I'm sure he'll have lots of options, maybe closer to London as well too, like anything else. Yeah, but he was very affable, I must admit. I would be very interested in doing it, but as I said to you, one, I'm surprised that people haven't taken him up closer to the area, and and he has trained. He's telling me he's training with Arsenal for quite some considerable time, and so in terms of fitness, it's not match fitness, but it's fine. We'll see. And listen, he's got loads of options.
Maybe you'll chat to Charlie Nicholas, who of course was loved at Highbury and loved at Celtic Park. Charlie, because as Mark said, do you want to be in the fringes at Arsenal in training? And he's not going to play, is he?
No, and he's a Champions League winner. Let's not forget, he can come and add to it. And players have proved, like Joe Hart sticks in my mind, that comes up for down south, and it's a new lease of life to get Celtic because they don't understand what it's like up here. They come here and they realise the size of the club, how much it means to people, how much passion, and it can give you a new kickstart to your career because that's obviously what he needs. But also, I know he's my mate as well. But James Forrest, I think, could still have a thing on it. He sometimes he's quite forgotten, but I think he can still add to the squad in the title run. And I think his contract's coming up to the end of the season. I think,
it is,
and I think that it's a perfect time to potentially give him opportunities to affect big games because he's done it in the past. I think it was a few years ago when he stepped in for Brendan Rodgers and it was under a bit of a spell. I think he scored 2 at Dundee.
He came on the Scottish Cup semi-final when Aberdeen were beating Celtic, and he came on and turned the game. Ended up going to penalties, get taken back off, but he came on and turned the game and kick-started Celtic's season.
Absolutely. Right. And the year before with Ange Postecoglou, the League Cup semi-final, was it? Against St Johnstone. Celtic were struggling and they threw on James Forrest, who hadn't been seen for ages. And he changed the game. And of course, that was then the Ange Postecoglou won the League Cup, then won the league, the double in the first year.
Yeah, he's still got the desire. You can see when he steps up at the points because you think, right. And I think the fans will say, oh, James, like maybe we've seen it before, but then he comes up and he steps up, big moments, he knows what it takes. He's somebody I'd like to see play a part as well. I think he could help the team.
You're going to say about the title race just before the break? We're talking about the title race because I'll throw something at you anyway.
Oh no, I think there comes a point in a title race. I think Celtic and Rangers as clubs have been there before, albeit they've got loads of new personnel and signings and stuff, but there's players in the building that have been in title races. Hearts will find out that you begin to see a finish line, and at that point can sometimes be just before the split or whatever, and you begin to go, right, if we can win consistently here, you can see a finish line, and all of a sudden teams start to consistently win, get into the top 6 and get into the split and everything. So that's something that Hearts have never seen before, and they'll be looking to get to that point. But Celtic and Rangers are certainly experienced in that, and I can see there been a long run of victories coming up for Celtic and Rangers.
Title race very much on. 13 games left, 14 for Celtic because of the cancellation last night. And Mark, you're not surprised Celtic have complained. They want an explanation from the SPFL, but you can't change it now. It's happened.
No, listen, you can't control the weather, obviously, but there's a protocol in place, and what Celtic are asking, did Aberdeen go through the right motions? So, look, we don't know what's been going on behind the scenes, but what's been in the public domain, as in 4 o'clock pitch inspection, first you hear of anything, that's not right. That doesn't stand up. So, Aberdeen will have, I'm sure they'll be able to back up what they've done, whatever the process has been for me. But for me, there's just been a lack of forward planning, sort of consultation, preparation. It's been far from my ideal. Look, we talk about the fixture congestion for Celtic, of course, but for fans who have paid money, Aberdeen fans are maybe travelling from Glasgow up to the game as well. Yep. It's not just Celtic fans, but obviously Celtic fans inconvenienced, and Aberdeen, you'd like to think that it could have been better.
Let's hear Martin O'Neill before the break about something we put to all the managers. It was put to Danny Röhl, Derek McInnes as well. What does Martin O'Neill think now that the window has closed about the title race?
My view is exactly the same as it was before when I arrived here. We're chasing. We're chasing down. And at the end of it all, we've got we're behind, and it's in Hearts' hands. So, and the less games, that are playing, I keep mentioning this. I know you're sick of me hearing it, or sick of I'm sick of saying it, and you're sick of hearing it. Is that we've got no error positions.
And of course, the game then with Aberdeen went off, so Celtic stay on 48 points. Mark?
Paul, what we now have with Hearts losing on Tuesday night, on Monday night, Hearts and Rangers, it wasn't in Celtic's hands. They needed a favour.
Yes.
But now with that defeat for Hearts, albeit Celtic gave a hand, Celtic, Rangers and Hearts, they don't need any favours.
Yep.
They win their games, they win the league. So what a great position for Scottish football, for a league race, to have 3 teams with 25 games played, 24 in Celtic's case, that it's in their own hands. They don't need favours. That'll all change by a week on Sunday. That'll change. And you know what Barry Ferguson was saying a week ago about Celtic playing Hearts at Tynecastle, was points will be dropped. So it could be a real benefit for Rangers, whatever way it turns out. And probably a draw was the ideal scenario from a Rangers point of view. Now Celtic will be looking at a week on Sunday, as long as they do their own business on Wednesday night and on Saturday, Sunday as well. They'll be looking and saying, right, okay, something will need to give there. So what does Celtic want? A week on Sunday. And I know there's important league games we play before that, but what's the ideal scenario for Celtic? Is it a draw as well? Or whatever? Interesting.
I think it's brilliant. Martin O'Neill saying it's in Hearts' hands. The mind games of that, it's amazing. It's almost like saying it's your title to lose. Brilliant.
Yeah. And, you know, Charlie, long before your time, Hearts led most of the season and then it went right to the last day. You know the story. And it must be the pressure on them as well. You know, they went to Dundee and a win would have taken them through to the title, and Celtic went to Love Street, St Mirren, had to win by 4 or 5, and they did. And Celtic have been over the course so many times. If Celtic win it, what's that, 14 out of 15 titles? And then Rangers, just the tradition at Rangers, they say we're used to winning. Well, the truth is they haven't won as much in recent years, but there's the expectation at Ibrox that they win. And for Hearts, it's going to be new. I know the neutrals all say, look, they want it to be Hearts, and I get it. But as a Glasgow radio station, you know, for Rangers or Celtic, look, Derek McInnes, West of Scotland boy. I'm sounding a bit insular here, Mark, am I? But hey, it keeps the lights on. Well, most of the time. Quick break, and then we're back.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King.
The weekend is just around the corner. Charlie, you love your weekends? Yeah, still a special feeling, even though you don't play.
Yeah. It's a lot more relaxing feeling waking up when you've not got a game.
How are the kids doing? How's your son doing? Gala?
Doing all right, yeah. He's played 2 games at Gala. He's plays Cowdenbeath, I'm sure, at the weekend.
Right. You've been through to see him?
I went last week to see him. He's some jaunt down there, 45 minutes.
Is it? Yeah.
Jesus.
Wow, yeah.
Say,
yeah. Wow, even the Maserati, it takes you a bit of time. That was Charlie Mulgrew there.
Some jaunt, man.
Right.
He does that. He's away down the other night. So he trains at the Oriam on a Tuesday night, and then obviously trains during the day at Celtic. Oriam Tuesday night, and then goes down to Gala on a Thursday night, trains with the team.
My goodness.
Some journey that. There's a car school, there's 4 of them that travel. So
has he got a car? Have you got one? Yeah.
He crashed it all day.
Oh, he didn't. Is he okay though? Yeah. Not to be. He's fine.
He's coming through a set.
Never got a Bishop Brooks.
Okay, there could be.
He came through a set of traffic. He came through a set.
Our lawyers are listening.
He got a whole. A cone get caught under his wheel at a set of temporary lights. Then he scraped along a van. He phoned me. He phoned me gutted. Yeah. So I mean, every bit of me wanted to lecture him. Then I thought, I know where he gets it for. You know what I mean? It's just. I've done it before.
Listen, drive carefully. But Mark, we know. Just take it easy. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Take it easy.
Yeah. But listen, good luck to him.
Young drivers, take it easy.
We want young Scottish players to get a chance to play. Because, I mean, look at the team sheets.
I'm loving the fact he's on loan. I'm absolutely loving it.
Why?
He's headed the ball more times in 2 games than he has in 3 years.
Right.
He's heading balls. He's finding what it is to play against men. He's doing that.
Centre half?
No, he plays midfield. And he's learning it. He needs to run. He needs to do the ugly stuff. He's got good technique, left-footed, good football, but he needs to do the other side.
Like his mother, a good footballer.
His granny was tall.
Listen, you must be so proud of him. It's a pressure for him as well because he's your son. You know what I mean? Because
that's just all he's used to. So he gets on, mate. He's loving being alone. It's good for him.
That's brilliant. So hopefully we'll see him. You'd love him to get back into the first team at Celtic, but that's a way down the line.
Yeah. Listen, I just like him to go and enjoy and have a career that he really wants, but he needs to work for it and he understands it, so that's fine. No pressure on him.
Charlie, you did many things. You had 45 Scotland
44.
caps, 44 Scotland caps. But you didn't ever get to a World Cup or a Euros. We all know we're going to the World Cup. I see the Brazilian legend Kaka has dismissed Scotland as a medium-level side and reckons the South American giants will breeze through their World Cup group. Medium level's maybe not a bad shout, or am I being a wee bit
Scotland. Brazil aren't going to be scared of Scotland.
No, exactly. Yeah.
And their outlook would be, by the time we play Scotland in the last game in Miami, we'll have 6 points in the bag, etc., etc. So that they're not going there, with the greatest respect, overly worried about Scotland, Haiti, or Morocco. They're thinking further down the line. What are we doing? Are we going to be winners? How are we going to cope? How are we going to manage the squad, etc., etc. So look, it's really, really exciting for Scotland point of view to be at the World Cup, to be playing Brazil. I think that's going to be a live game for Scotland. They might need to get something out that game, or at least avoid a heavy defeat. Don't get spanked. But it's just great to be at the World Cup. Really excited.
Because Haiti, sorry.
I fancy Brazil to win it. They're my pick, and I said that when the draw was made. And people look at this Brazil squad, and it's not the Brazil squad at the past with the big names, but I just think with Ancelotti as the manager, I think I can picture him having. I think he's a perfect Brazil manager in terms of no too tactical and rigid, more managing the people and having. I think he'll have a happy summer camp there, and they'll go and win it.
So how are we going to be going to Miami? So Haiti. Look, I've been at quite a number of World Cups, and we always go in with great expectations. Honestly,
I bet they're not the worst.
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah.
You know, we'll expect to batter them, and it won't end up getting beat.
Surely not.
Mark. Off at half time.
No. Remember Italy,
need to beat
1990.
Yeah, all
Costa Rica.
the hard luck stories, the walks of shame, whatever you want to call it. But you hate it. It's the ideal opening game. Yeah. Okay, it's on paper, it's the easiest game. You look at Morocco, really talented side, really talented side, and Brazil obviously speaks for itself. So Haiti's your banker 3 points. You get that 3 points, it's not going to guarantee you getting into the next stage, but it gives you a hell of a good chance. And if you nick a point against Morocco, then you're fine. But 3 points might be enough to get you through. You bear that in mind, as long as you don't get spanked. So as long as you can maybe keep it as even a negative 1 goal difference.
Yeah. So it's the best of the goal difference.
Yeah, 3 points could be enough to get you through. Wow. So you look at that. So just stay in the game. But just first things first, beat Haiti. No excuses. They will be good. They'll have something about them. That, Scotland aren't going to go there and win 7 or 8-0. That's not going to happen. It will take a really professional performance. Take your chances. Defend well. There'll be a big Tartan Army there at Boston for the game. Of course there will. And just make the most of it. Of course it'll be a party, it'll be a celebration, but there's a professional job to be done. There's a bit of work to be done. Again, we talk about learning lessons. So Scotland have been at 2 major tournaments under Steve Clarke. They've not performed to their capabilities. For me, they weren't adventurous enough. And I get you need to be tight, but in that last game against Hungary, they should have been more open. Yeah. That's my one criticism of Steve Clarke. But he's been a brilliant Scotland manager, and the best may yet to come, Paul. Hopefully it is over the next 3 competitive games. But learn lessons. Why did we not get through? What can we do better? What's the game plan? What is the message over 3 games, not just the first game? So all those kind of wee things. But we've been given, in terms of the draw, we've been given the best opportunity to be the first time ever in Scotland's history to progress beyond the group stage.
Yeah, we've never, ever done it, Charlie, even though, the days when we qualified just about every time. Huge month coming up for all of us and for Steve Clarke. Harvey Barnes. I mean, he's either going to decide he plays for Scotland and come in the squad for Japan next month and Ivory Coast, or adios. He's not joining us. What do you think? Do you think he will?
I'd love to have him. I think he should. I don't know how passionate he is about Scotland or if he is at all. But a chance to play at a World Cup and a chance for us to have somebody with that pace that we don't have. We'll get Ben Doak, but apart from that, real out-and-out pace that can play in the wings, I think he would be a huge asset for Scotland. So desperate for him to agree to come along.
It's his if he wants it. Paul, the question's been put to him. He knows that Scotland want him. He knows that Steve Clarke and the staff want him. I'm sure there have been the Scotland players as well. They've probably been texting him or WhatsApping him, whatever it is they do. So the decision is his, and I think he'll do it. I think he'll go for it, and I think he'll be in the Scotland squad next month.
Let's hope so.
Yeah,
because that'll be absolutely crucial for us. Just 2 minutes left. It has flown in tonight. Quite a few people on saying they enjoyed Jim in Tunbridge Well. Loved the chat there about management and the pressures on managers. And about Derek McInnes earlier, he said that his late great dad Jim would have said, "I'm not one bit pleased." He said that's what he felt when he listened to Derek McInnes say, "I'm not one bit pleased." It's a great kind of Lanarkshire expression, I think. Who's going to be pleased this weekend then? Dundee United would expect to get a win. Airdrie St Mirren, Charlie, who do you fancy on that one? The Cup tomorrow night?
You've got to fancy. You've got to fancy St Mirren. They'll be in a high after getting a win. They've not been great recently, but maybe that'll kick their season on.
Dunfermline against Kelty Hearts, your old team.
Yeah, so, that's a bit of a local. Well, no, it's a Fife derby, isn't it? I think Dunfermline will win that.
Okay. Dundee United Spartans, Mark. Are you going United?
Yeah, Dundee United to win at home.
Elgin Partick Thistle, you're going for the Harry Rags?
Long journey up there, but yes, the Harry Rags will win.
And Sunday, Stenhousemuir at Falkirk, just jumping about here a wee bit.
Gary Naismith
what result
against John
round?
McGlynn, Hearts Connections there. I think that could go to penalty kicks, Falkirk to win.
Aberdeen Motherwell, Charlie, what do you think? So this is Saturday evening?
Yeah, I think Aberdeen will call that off an hour before kick-off. Motherwell will win that.
Okay.
I hope Motherwell will win
Going
that.
for the well for that one. Mark, who do you fancy in that one? Just a decision?
Motherwell, yes.
Motherwell to win. Celtic against Dundee, so that's 5:30 on Premier Sports. Are you on with Emma and Connie and them also?
Yes,
who's going to win?
Celtic comfortably.
Okay. Mark?
Celtic 2-0.
2-0 to Celtic. And then Rangers against Queen's Park. Mark, who do you fancy, obviously?
Yeah, Sean Crankton and Jim Duffy, of course. He's a very experienced assistant. Queen's Park, the shock of the century this time last year. But Rangers will win. They'll do it comfortably. Rangers by 3 goals.
What do you think?
5-0 Rangers.
5-0 Rangers. Charlie, thank you so much.
Thanks very
Mark
much.
as well. Charlie, you'll be back on Monday. Mark, hopefully Tuesday. You'll be back with us tomorrow night. Barry Ferguson will be here along with Darren O'Dea. That's it from us. Good night.
Radio